Okay, so we have our possibly last installment of the Generations film series, at least for a while. We've got the G4 versus the G5, and maybe if I ever get a G6, we'll do a G5 to a G6. But for now, this will be the last one in for a while. Um, we've got the two units. They're both 35 watt. Do a look at the front. They look like twins. They're so identical. Let's see. Let's check the back. Okay. Back is nearly identical too in terms of the layout. The only real difference here is that this G4 has the USB-C as far for its Flex IO, and this just has a HDMI. Both have display ports. The USB ports are pretty much the same place. So again, if you were looking in the back, you really wouldn't have really be able to tell the difference between these two. They're so identical. Check of the bottom, telling us obviously that it's a G4 DM, 35 watt. We've got your EliteDesk 800 G5. Interesting that this is called the Desktop Mini, and the other one, they actually call it the DM, and then it says 35 watt. This one, I'm assuming it's 35 watt. Let's see. Oh, here it is. 35 watt down here. Okay, I was pretty sure that this was not a 65 watt. So we got 35 watt on there. And for completeness, we're showing the inside of the top. Again, very, I'm pretty sure with this, with the G3, G4, I thought, well, maybe if I swapped them, they would fit, but actually they don't. These sure look like they would fit each other one. I might try that later, just out of curiosity. And who knows, they may have already been, may have happened at some point already. All right, G4, G5, looking so identical in terms of the layout. The drive caddies. You've got your version 1 of the Flex IO. The version 2 of the Flex IO can't be used until you get to the G6. Layout as far as fans. Officially, the specs say that you can only do 32 gig on the G4, but you can do 64 gig on the G5. And I've already seen some of the commenters talking about, oh, no problem putting 64 gig in here, but I'll leave that to you to test out. But as far as the specs, this is 32, this is 64. This is using 8th gen Intel processors. This is using 9th gen, but both are 6 core. This isn't like it jump ahead to 8 core or something like that. Let's check out, we'll remove these and check them out. Okay, we've got the two drive caddies. These look, I mean, pretty much interchangeable. I mean, they show a different part number, but even the part numbers pretty much start out the same. Look on the back, very similar. They both have two screws here, two that connect to the SATA cable. These flip up. You can remove this in order to get to the, well, I guess you remove it if you're going to put in the secondary fan. But those pretty much are the same here. Okay, looking at the setup, so similar. Even the lithium batteries are in the same place. Both have the two M.2s. This particular G5, I've got two 2230s that I'm doing mirroring on. But I could put another 2230 on here on my G4. So you've got your Wi-Fi connectors right there. Both of them have this connector, which is for the AMD Radeon RX 560, and then if it's actual graphics card, and then it connects out here, and then you have your connector for the video. One slight difference between the two, if you notice on here, this is using, and it's only supported, I believe, on the 35 watt G4. You've got this connector here. This is on the USB-C in order to do the power delivery. This has some other kind of block that I'm not quite sure of, but it definitely looks different than this one. So I don't know if this can be utilized for something else. So I thought I'd point that out. Yeah, I mean, uh, unless you were really looking for specific stuff, um, if you were to look at these quickly, you'd go, "Oh, is this a G4, G5? I can't quite tell." Um, the Well, you've got darker screws here and lighter ones here. I don't know if that just happens to be the case, but yeah, everything else is so identical. Um, Now, question, which of these would I recommend? And I was thinking about it, and I think I would go for the G4. The reason we got the G5 was I wanted something a little newer. This is going to be, or supposedly at some point, is going to be the sort of the family PC. And because of that, I wanted something a little newer, just for, future stuff. But if I was buying for myself, and I ended up getting a second G4, one of the reasons is, your memory is the same in terms of speed. Um, you could do your 32 gig. You still only get 6 core, whether you go with the G5. Definitely more expensive going the G5 route. I could get, probably maybe 2 or 3 G2s for what I paid for this G5. Definitely a nice unit. I got a very clean one, very newish one. So I felt pretty good. I think it only come out of warranty like maybe 4 months ago. It's definitely a nice unit. I was disappointed because I thought that it would support the version 2 of the FlexIO, and I believe if you look around, there's a FlexIO version 2 that supports, so you can have a secondary NIC, network card on your unit. That'd been kind of cool, but unfortunately, you have to wait till you get to the G6 in order to do that. So that's about it in terms of, again, these are probably the most similar of all of the generations that we've looked at so far. Just thought I'd try it, but yes, I could switch the top, and 4 fits on the 5, 5 fits on the 4, so they're that identical. So, and you could tell because this one says 8th gen, and it's on the guy that has the HDMI port, which is, of course, our G5. So I guess it's a good thing at least it's got the sticker, so I know which one to put on the right thing.